Well, it's a senior's guide for living well and dying well. And it's a compilation of programs that we had at a senior building in Minneapolis called Park Shore. And the committee had a program once a month for several years on living well and dying well. How to create your legacy was the third issue. So the book came out of that, and we were having programs from 2017 through 2020, and then March of 2020 came and everybody stopped, and we could not have any more programs. So we decided that we'd write the book. Well, since I had written another book, they all looked to me, and so I wound up being the author. The illustrator is another member of our group, Carolyn Papke, who lives here in the same building that I. Well, the Midwest Independent Publishers Association has a award system that is for 13 states. So authors from 13 states that are independent publishers can put their books in. So you send in a bunch of your books. They send it out to reviewers, and the reviewers come back and give you scores. And one of the reviewers for my book gave me a 10 all the way across in 7 different categories. We won the Gold Award as a finalist, and won the Gold Award in the area of health.
Do you have a favorite section of it?
Well, I like the section on legacy, but it's designed to have the 3 major parts to it. The first part is living well. How do you age well? How to as you think about retirement, or as you enter retirement or into retirement, how do you age well by nutrition, exercise, but also mental activity. And what are the things? So the subjects include keeping healthy, but and also engaging in your community. But then there's a section on driving and when to stop driving. There's a section on sleeping, when to stop sleeping. When to start sleeping. The sections are practical. Falling was another important subject. Seniors tend to injure themselves significantly when they fall.
Yeah, I did not realize that one of the reasons that seniors trip a lot, actually my dad mentioned this, by the way, they were also colleagues at Park Nicollet in different departments. Dr. Hanson's a retired pulmonologist, correct?
That's right. Yeah. I spent 49 years practicing medicine. And I wound up in doing pulmonary medicine, which included ventilators, and then the ventilators became the central point of life support. I say I did pulmonary medicine and critical care.
Yeah.
And in critical care, we had a lot of conversations about end of life planning, or the situation, what can we do medically and what can't we do? What are we doing too much? I figure that I had about 4,000 conversations about end-of-life planning in the period of time that I practiced.
So you knew there was a need for the book.
So yeah, that's how I got on this. We call it a guide group, but it's basically a committee. And then the important thing about your legacy is, while you're living, to have conversations with your family about what are your wishes and what you want to leave, so that they know what your thinking was while you were making these plans that you want to leave. So the idea here is to be pretty comprehensive, but also the chapters are short, quick reads, and it's not a book that you pick up and read in 2 nights. You may do that, but if you follow the guide as a true guide, you might take one subject a week or one a month.
Now, if you could pick one group to present your book to, like for, I guess, a book signing, who would you pick?
I would pick ARP. The Association of Retired Persons, American Association of Retired Persons. Now, is that a group, or it's a publication basically, but that would have a wide audience,
Yeah.
and audience of older people who would more resonate to the subjects that we're dealing with.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, well, could you tell me one quirky thing you do in your free time?
I watch birds.
That's
I like to watch birds, so that's quirky. I don't think that's quirky.
No.
It's 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 a diversion and a great pastime, and it's changing all year round because of the migrations.